Have you been to Booking.com recently? No? I don't blame you. That website's panic-inducing at the best of times, let alone in a global pandemic. But it's not just lockdown that makes that website stressful. They've actually deliberately designed it that way. Let's roleplay. I'm Joseph and I have to book a room in Bethlehem for one night on Christmas Eve for me and my heavily pregnant wife. Here are my results. Well, as you can see, they're doing everything possible to stress me out into a quick sale, from telling me where doesn't have room at the inn to which rooms have been booked in the last 6 hours. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is a dark pattern, which I admit sounds like a rebellious knitting website that your nan would use to fight the system using cross-stitch. In reality, they're design elements on websites aiming to trick you to spending more money than you planned. Part 1. A brief history of dark patterns. It was 2010. Lady Gaga was in a meat dress, you could still poke people on Facebook, and Google launched glasses. It was a very exciting time to be alive. In that same year, British UX designer Harry Brignull coined the term dark patterns. Harry says when you use the web, you don't read every word on every page. You skim read and make assumptions, and if a company wants to trick you into doing something, they can take advantage of this by making the page look like it's saying one thing when it's actually doing another. Harry goes on to say you shouldn't trust narrators in comedy videos because they might be saying one thing while you're looking at text that says something else. They're kind of like a digital spell trying to get you to spend more money or sign up for things that you didn't ordinarily want or need, like signing up for the gym in order to get Beachbody ready every summer.
I want to quit the gym!
Harry runs darkpatterns.org, a website that shows you all the dark patterns that companies use in order to get you to sign up to their mailing list, sneakily get your data, or force you to spend more money. Part 2. Examples of dark patterns. There are 11 types of dark patterns. Here are the 6 I was able to write jokes for. Confirm shaming. This is where a company tries to make you feel guilty for not sharing your email address with them. I hate this, as I hate sassy passive aggression from nameless corporate entities. I'm looking at you, Tesco Mobile. What? Maybe I do know everything about gardening. What the hell is smart email? What, first of all my penis is below average and now this? Fuck off, Cosmo. A roach motel is where they make it really easy for you to sign up for a membership or subscription, but make it near impossible for you to leave. Double negatives are not uncommon, but they are the worst way of not getting users' data. Did you follow any of that? They're copywriting tricks aimed at making us click the wrong checkbox. This is where 2 negatives do create a positive, but only for the company's bottom line. Forced continuity is where a website offers you a free trial but then doesn't explicitly ask you if you want to continue. It just keeps billing you. The biggest culprits of this are Netflix and Audible, who bank on you forgetting that you signed up until they've billed you, then won't give you a refund, and you just have to use the service for another month. This is all above board and legal because our legal system is fucked and doesn't specify the size of the font that a website has to use in order to tell you that you're going to be charged when the free period is over. Basket sneaks. This is where they add things to your basket that you didn't want without asking you. Say you want to buy a domain name from GoDaddy.com. For example, is I know you're using basketsneaksdarkpatterns.com available? Surprisingly, it is. And it's only 99p. Now, big question, should I finish the video or should I get an Oreo McFlurry? No. Fine. I'll finish the video, but never say I don't suffer for my art. Oh, I should have used a dark pattern on that option box to get you to click the other button. Get your priority straight, Simon. Oh, and look at that. I can add the .co.uk domain name for 1p more. Who wouldn't want that? Well, me in a parallel universe who's currently slurping down some sweet, sweet ice cream, but right now, I'll have that, and I'll add it to basket. As you can see, clearly, I've only added 2 things to my cart. Let's go to the checkout. Well, as you can see, there's my website, but hang on. The price has gone to £12 because apparently the 99p was just for the first year and I need it for 2 years. They've also given me full website protection, whatever that is, even though I didn't ask for it. They've done the same thing for the .co.uk website. How about no, Daddy?
Daddy didn't love me!
They've also given me Microsoft 365, which apparently I only need for 1 year, and a free trial for their website builder. How kind of them. This is actually an example of forced continuity, which brings my full total to £167.69. You stay classy, GoDaddy. As we've seen, Booking.com is a prime example of a website that uses sense of urgency coupled with our toxic relationship of fear of missing out to pressure people into buying something quicker than they would like with less time to think than they often need. That reminds me, don't forget to hit subscribe, as the next 30 people to hit subscribe in the next 10 seconds will win my love and respect for the rest of their lives. Quick, you don't want to miss out. There's only 5 seconds left. Oh my God, there's only 20 spaces. Oh. Well, I mean, you can still hit subscribe, but I'm just going to resent you forever now. Part 3, anti-dark pattern legislation. This might sound a bit tinfoil hat, but in April 2019, things got so bad that Senators Mark Warner and Deb Fisher tried to introduce the Detour Act, an anti-dark pattern legislation to stop websites from tricking users to giving them money or data. Fisher said these manipulative user interfaces intentionally limit understanding and undermine consumer choice. But this only applies to websites with more than 100 million active monthly users and doesn't stop websites adding things to shopping carts or sneaky subscription fees. Isn't capitalism fun? Less than a year later, in March 2021, California adopted amendments to the California Consumer Privacy Act, which prohibits the use of deceptive user interfaces that have, quote, the substantial effect of subverting or impairing a consumer's choice to opt out. In Europe, GDPR states that all companies must obtain unambiguous, freely given consent from the customer before they collect and use personal identifiable information. However, a 2020 study showed that big tech companies like Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google, and Microsoft often use deceptive user interfaces in order to discourage users from opting out. It's almost like they're above the law. It should come as no surprise to anybody that one of the dark patterns is named after Facebook's founder, Private Zuckering. Aside from being the dark pattern that sounds most like a sex act, Private Zuckering is where users are tricked into giving away more data than they originally intended. It takes one click to accept the terms of service on Google, and they always make the least privacy-friendly option the default. However, to edit or turn off your personalized ads, it takes 19 clicks. Zucking hell. Since not using the service is often not an option, they make taking the default option the easiest. And because they're all too lazy to read through their ever-changing manuscript of terms of service, we just click OK. But are we OK? Part 5, Princeton's research into dark patterns. A 2009 study conducted by the Princeton University and the University of Chicago looked at 11,000 retail sites and found dark patterns on at least 11% of them. And they found a correlation between how popular the site was and how likely it was to contain dark patterns. Could it be a coincidence that the websites that are most popular, and by most popular I mean the ones that sell the most shit, use dark patterns? Or could it be that the websites that use dark patterns manipulate us into spending more money that we didn't want to spend? It's a real chicken and fuck consumer rights situation. Either way, the TLDR of that research paper is that dark patterns, much like anthrax and the music of Justin Bieber, are harmful to humans. Part 6, offline dark patterns. Some dark patterns are nothing new. Supermarkets have been using similar pricing strategies for years, but online stores have one massive advantage over offline stores. You can browse them in your pants? No. Well, technically yes. People love browsing in their pants. Fine. Websites have several advantages over brick and mortar stores. However, the advantage I was thinking of is that websites can create a new store for you every time you refresh the page. They're constantly testing what pitches, phrases and offers work for you. This, coupled with the Facebook pixel, which tracks you across at least 16% of the internet, means shoppers have even less of a chance to make an informed choice. Part 7, A/B testing. A/B testing is a system that digital marketeers use to maximize the chances of you clicking on something they want you to. They'll show some people a website with a green button and some people a website with a red button. Whichever one performs the best, they'll eventually show to everyone. This is largely harmless, as neither button is doing anything to manipulate anyone in an unethical way. Dark patterns tend to perform very well in A/B testing because by design they're manipulating people into taking the red pill. I mean, clicking the button. It's not a fair fight. Imagine being hypnotized by Darren Brown one day and a cow the next. One is going to help you sell more milk and the other's going to call you up at 4 AM saying she regrets leaving you for her gym instructor Steve. Part 8. What can we do about it? Not a lot. Firstly, we have to assume that everything on a website, good and bad, has been done intentionally and isn't a result of sloppy design. Dark patterns are an ethical issue and ethics will vary from person to person, which is why some people won't think twice about a hard to find button on a giant website, but other people will find something a little darker. Ultimately, as a society, we need to draw a line. Until then, ideally, we need to read the fine print. If you find anything confusing, patronizing or passive aggressive, treat it in the same way you treat your mum when she asks where her first grandchild is. This is a red flag, and where possible, don't engage. In the case of websites like Amazon and Facebook, which have more red flags than China but are kind of hard to avoid, you're just going to have to be extra careful. Oh, and stop using auto payment features, because by adding in that boring layer of admin of typing in your credit card detail every time, you're adding a few moments where you can question, do I really want this deal now? The only exception is if you want to become an Internet Explorer via my Patreon. There's a link downstairs in the description. In compliance with GDPR, I need to let you know that if you want to opt in and see more videos from me, you can do so by hitting the subscribe button below. If you want to stop getting videos from me, you can also press that button again and unsubscribe, but I'd really rather you didn't. If you like this video, you can also like it, as it really helps with the algorithm. You can also leave a comment. Hell, you can also write commenting for the algorithm. It's all the same for the AI gods.